Hey guys, welcome to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills recap with Rick and
Kelly.
Before we begin, we do want to say a few words about the tragedy in Texas.
We feel horrible for what happened to the families. We want to send our prayers and our condolences to the victims and the families of this horrific tragedy.
Yeah, as a news reporter, I covered a lot of school shootings, including Sandy Hook, and there are no words really, as we all know. It's just the worst possible thing, and we just wish strength and resilience to the people of Texas, to the families, and to everyone with kids. You know, this is another reminder to hug your family and love your family and enjoy and appreciate every day. And sometimes you need a mindless escape, and we hope that we can provide that with you.
Yeah.
For you right now.
So.
Yeah. Thanks so much for your support of our show here, too, by the way, guys. And remember, just hit that subscribe button because we're at like 1.1 million views now, and we're at 19 plus subscribers. We want to get to 20,000 subscribers this week. So subscribe, and if you like our content here, go to patreon.com and check out our Patreon podcast, The Rick and Kelly Show. It's this one's free. Patreon starts at $5 a month, but you get 40 shows. New shows every week, and it's raw and it's unfiltered and uncensored, and we have a great time over there. So we hope you'll join us on Patreon. Give us a shot.
Yeah, and you can buy these mugs too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Trill Time.
Well, we're gonna drink this water.
Yes, water before we drink our tequila.
Let's drink a little El Cristiano.
Cheers.
Cheers. This is good stuff. Oh, more on El Cristiano in a minute. Let's get to Beverly Hills, shall we?
We shall.
First of all, quick clip of your blouse.
Before I said that Kyle Richards and I always have the same stuff, like we do. And I was pleasantly surprised that she has this Zimmerman top that I own too. So
here it is.
Here it is.
The cashmere lines. I don't know if it was because of that.
So who wore it better?
Who rocked it better?
Who rocked it better? You guys weigh in on that one. There was a lot of discussion on tonight's show about the break-in at the Reed's house and the trauma that she suffered. I'm wondering your thoughts on that after a couple of weeks of talking about it.
Oh God, I mean, I couldn't imagine, you know, I mean, there's nothing, I've had my car broken into and you feel violated. I mean, could you imagine like having somebody put a gun to your head? And I think it's horrific, and it's got to be traumatizing for her, and she must have PTSD. I know I would.
Well, they get into it quite a bit on the show. They also focus on the opening of Kyle's store in Palm Desert, which happens to be like 3 blocks from our house that we're remodeling in the desert.
3 blocks. I walk there all the time, so I'll get a little bit on Kyle's store. We walked in there because I love Kyle's store in Beverly Hills. She had like the most amazing coolest like clothes, and she had different merchandising. I went into the Palm Desert, legit, we live 3 blocks away from there, and the clothes looked so hideous, and I mean, they just didn't, on the, you know, sometimes you have to try things on in order to see how they fit or how they look.
Yeah. In
the show, they looked fabulous on. But when you walk in the store and you're going through it, it looks kind of cheap, and it doesn't look good. But on them, it looked fabulous. So maybe I need to go back. Because I was telling everybody, like all my friends, I was like, they're like, I said I went into their store and it was so disappointing because her other store in Beverly Hills was fun. It was gorgeous. She had things that you couldn't find.
She had to close it. They said on the show 3 stores because of the retail went to crap.
But it's this ladies line. It's like this Persian lady that was there. I met her.
Yeah.
It's her clothing line. I think she just went in on partners with her on it. I don't know. She said she likes the creative process. I don't know what creative process that she's gone into.
Maybe it was an off day at Kyle's store. I don't know.
Yeah.
She had trouble cutting the ribbon. We saw that. It was kind of funny.
Yeah. I love Kyle, by the way. I love her. I absolutely adore Kyle Richards, and I love everything that she's done with her life. When you watch the beginning of the Beverly Hills, they didn't have that much money, and they grew it together, and it's just fabulous to watch, and I'm proud of her.
Okay, good. They all went to the desert for this opening and to hang out at Kyle's house in the Hideaway, right?
Right.
And
Which
they
all my
showed-
friends live, by the way.
Yeah, we were just there like 2
Yeah.
weeks ago. So they showed everyone getting ready and packing, and they go to Erica's house, and she's got like a team there to help her pick out her clothes. I want to just show
Why
them.
does Erica have a glam team? Seriously. Kyle
She
Richards.
of all people. Here,
Kyle
here.
Richards, none of them do, except maybe Dory.
Yeah,
They didn't
one
bring
thing.
them.
Years. Could be cute. What if?
But it's chilly.
Well, we need to dig.
I have all these things that I normally would resell and take that money and buy new things, but I can't do that right now because of the bankruptcy trustees. We just don't have enough.
Space.
Can we have like 18 racks?
Come on, we're gonna go into the real closet.
Ah,
Oh, much better.
I've been fortunate enough to have a lot of great things, so wearing them twice isn't the worst thing. Okay, in the world. What about that Margiela, that ring felt? For that?
Tomorrow? No.
Okay, fine.
No, I love you.
Oh, what about that? I don't have my clothes because of the board of trustees. So why do you have a glam squad? This is what I don't understand. Okay, she makes about $800,000 a year. Half of it goes away in taxes.
Yeah.
She is going through all these legal woes. Why are you paying from the money you make from the show for a
People
glam
to-
squad? You can't do your own makeup. You can't do your own hair. Like honestly,
I just thought it was.
I just find it.
I thought it was obnoxious that they're showing all these possessions and all these clothes that were paid for allegedly by orphans and widows of plane crash victims and other people who were husband allegedly fleeced, and she still isn't really. She's denying that she had any culpability or any guilt whatsoever.
Right.
But we all know she spent millions and millions and millions of dollars
on
this
clothes,
stuff.
on jewelry, on all that stuff.
I'm beyond amazed that this is being celebrated on the show when
Like have some empathy. I mean, seriously, it's unbelievable to me.
So-
that she's got the audacity to have a glam squad. She's the kind of person that spends probably more than she's gonna make. She's got all these legal woes. Like that, she's just not smart with her money. That's just being really, really stupid. And being on the show, by the way, is very, very expensive. They don't give you clothes, they don't give you an allowance, they don't give you a stipend, nothing. It's very, very expensive to be on the show. And I mean,
especially if you're not going to wear anything twice,
exactly.
right?
Right.
So they all go to Kyle's desert house, as I mentioned, and we see them. Some of them stayed in her house, and some of them stayed at a hotel. And then we learned that the new housewife Diana has a team who checks in for her and gets her room ready. And I want to show you this clip.
Do you have a hanging thing for the hanging pieces? You know what? Can we lay it? Okay.
I just came from Texas. It's freezing there. It's like winter.
We can warm you up a little bit.
Is this my room? Hi.
How was the drive?
Ooh, long. When I travel, I send my team before me to check the place, set me up, and they make it better.
They set me up and they make it better.
It's you look at the safety view,
Privacy, but
I don't know what else to do. Bedding, then sheets.
is this the bedroom here?
In general, coziness. So everywhere I go, it feels like home. I feel like that's really, really important.
It's very, 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 very important.
It occurred to me that
Very, very important. That I used to be very poor, and now I'm nouveau riche.
well, she also said that in the store she doesn't know how to shop, and she's like allergic to stores or some like a joke.
I don't like to shop.
But she, like you said, came from nothing, so she obviously shopped for herself for more than half her life.
I'm already rich. I don't need to go into a store and be with the riffraff.
So then it occurred to me that this is why people like to watch the show, because they're seeing a different lifestyle. They're seeing someone who lives way higher at a higher level than they do, and it's like, oh, I want to aspire to that. I want to have people check in for me.
It's levels, right?
Yeah.
It's levels. It's levels. Like we have a friend, Ted and Asia. They are billionaires, and they live large like that. And it's really fun to see and to be part of that.
Sure. Let's take this opportunity to talk just for a moment about El Cristiano Tequila, shall we?
Okay.
Purity, passion,
I love
and
it.
purpose.
I drink this all the time, you guys. And
This
by
is
the
our-
way, they're neighbors with Kyle Richards in the
Oh, they
Heights.
are. That's right.
Yeah.
We were at their house. They're right
Yeah.
down the street from this stuff. And you know what? They're sponsoring our show, but only because we love their tequila.
Yeah, we love it.
I wouldn't talk about it if we didn't love it. And
Yeah.
Kelly's a tequila expert. So this stuff there's no additives.
Well, and I don't do that. So that Madeira stuff, like I got
Madeira.
offered to
Yeah.
to do the collagen, which Gretchen Rossi's doing right now. And I went to my friend, Dr. Gerald Joffrey, who is an expert in health. And you know, the collagen is really good for you, but bone broth gives you collagen, by the way. You don't need to take a supplement.
Yeah.
And he said, don't promote this. It's not good
Well,
stuff.
we don't wanna trash
But I'm
anyone else's
saying,
product.
I'm not trashing other people's
I'm saying-
products. I'm saying his, but I'm saying, okay, but for me, I like to push things that are I like and that doesn't give you hangovers and
Yeah.
things like that. I'm not discounting other people's products, okay?
The finest Jalisco Highlands Blue Agave, it's in the ground for at least 6 years before they make this tequila with it. And there's no additives. And they call it the world's most delicious additive-free tequila. You know where you can get this? 2 blocks from Kyle's store at Matro'S in Palm Desert. Matro'S across the country. Javier'S, Soho House National, Wally's and Spago in Beverly Hills. Encore at Wynn in Las Vegas. The Four Seasons Maui. All Total Wine locations in California. And of course, online at elcristiano.com. This stuff is fantastic, I'm telling you.
You guys, they have billboards everywhere. Now we're just seeing them. We
Yeah.
didn't even know. We
Yeah.
had no idea how big time these people were.
Cheers to that.
Yeah, cheers.
We love you guys.
We love you. So try this. It's delicious. And you won't get hangovers.
Okay, so a big part of this episode was Sutton apologizing for being kind of an asshole about the Reach break-in when she talked to Kyle about it originally, right? And so Sutton apologizes to Dorit, and then they talk a lot more about it. Hold on, this isn't it. Sorry. And I want to know if what you thought of her apology.
You know what's so funny is that everybody has different ideas of like, we can watch the same thing and other people see 5 different things.
Yeah.
That's when I was on the show, it was the same thing. Like some people were on my side and half the people were on my side, half the people were not on my side. So it's, I was watching the Bitchy Housewives and their team, Crystal, where I'm not. So like it's funny how people have different ideas about different things.
So here, watch this apology, and
Okay.
I want to know what you think of it.
Okay.
I am a very sincere person. I would never want to be insincere towards you.
I think he's saying, I'm sorry I didn't have a gun put to my head.
No,
That was a
really,
little like,
no, it was
that felt
a
way
terrible
too.
thing to say.
Yeah.
I get very upset about like guns and the break-in stuff. It upset me as well. It triggered me from like my childhood. And so when I get upset, I say weird things and I get uncomfortable and then I say uncomfortable things. I didn't mean it like that and I'm really, really sorry.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, I think I'm Team Sutton all the way. I absolutely love Sutton. I think you made a nice, like you said that Sutton is always kind of like, what did
She
you
was
say?
skeptical. I think that stemmed from skepticism when she went to Kyle's house. She didn't fully believe that it really happened. So that's really what I think was in her head.
Yes, I agree. That's
All right.
what happened.
Well, so she apologized.
But she sees how distraught she is. But I also understand, you know, like you do feel uncomfortable. I do when a tragedy happens, or you don't want to go over there. I mean,
And she further explains that in another clip. But before we get to that,
but I think the apology was nice. And Dory is so classy about it. She like accepted it.
actually, you know what? Let's show that right now.
I didn't know what your state of mind was. I didn't
By the way,
know.
you could always reach out to someone in something like that. Of course
Well,
you
I
can.
don't know. Boundaries are really very powerful things. When my father shot himself, I did not want people calling me and coming over. I didn't. When my father died, I had an influx of people coming to my house. And then for me, I feel like I have to be the hostess. That's the last thing I wanted to do. And I have a 9-month-old baby.
Everybody's different in how
That's what I'm saying.
feel.
I didn't want to go over there and bother Dorit because I know how Dorit is. She'll want to put out like a platter and make us feel better. And then that's not helpful.
I want to say that made sense to me. I understood that. But I was wondering why she didn't say that when she was sitting there with the women. And she made sense in the confessional, but I don't know if she actually said anything like that to them.
No, I don't think so. What happens is they film you, and I think Sutton, like she's not good with her words in a group setting.
In the moment?
In the moment. She's not quick-witted. She's not fast.
She'll just like stare at
She
the person.
really doesn't speak that much. She's not entertaining, to be quite honest. I love Sutton, I do. But she's not quick-witted. She's not particularly funny. She doesn't speak a lot. And, you know, she'll be like, Kyle. And she'll like, slander. And then she'll like, you know.
She doesn't explain herself.
She doesn't explain herself. And this is why people like this the confessionals are good for. Because confessionals are 50% of the show, by the way. And so when you get to have your choice, your chance to speak and tell what's going on, she does well on the show because she has an opportunity to explain herself. She doesn't really explain herself well when they're filming, when they're taping.
In the moment.
In the moment.
So
this is why these confessionals are very awesome to have.
Yeah.
Because she can explain herself in depth.
So the producers know that they want to include that scene, and they know that they need more from her to flesh it out. Like, why did you say that? What did you mean by that? So they're asking her those questions
Right.
in the room, in the studio.
In the studio, when you're sitting there and they have a list of questions and say, oh, talk about this, you know, elaborate about that.
And so she did.
She did, and she explained herself well. Where on here, you know, you're like, what, you really don't talk that much.
Yeah.
And you really don't express yourself. You're kind of like insulated.
Yeah.
And you're not really, you don't really speak well amongst the girls. It's like defamation. There's defamation, and like she doesn't explain. Hey, like last week, she didn't say. She just showed the receipts. And by the way, on American Express, you can cancel things last minute and get your money back. She didn't explain herself. Did she say, hey, I'm not going to the event? It sounded like she was at the event. She didn't explain why she didn't have Harry Hamlin after when she bought Harry Hamlin and Lisa Rinna. I've heard that they are so much like takers.
Oh.
And she got mad.
Yeah.
But did she say, hey, I got the table? Because she said she paid for it, and apparently she went. It was
very confusing.
It was very confusing.
Yeah.
Very confusing.
There must have been many times when you said something that you thought was brilliant at this time that they cut out for whatever reason. Or vice versa, you said something amazing in a confessional that didn't make it on.
Right.
That must happen a lot.
Oh yeah, they edit you quite a bit.
The way they want.
But the way they want, of course. And then they'll give you two ways of like spinning it. So it's kind of, they can direct you on how you look, basically.
In this case, I think it worked.
Yeah.
Okay. They go to Kyle's house, and somehow Crystal makes it about her.
Right.
And before we get to, I just want, first of all, you had some thoughts about Crystal. In general, you like her.
Crystal, yes. I like Crystal. I think I grew up with predominantly Asian. I lived in Asia. I like her whole demeanor. I like how she is frugal. I like how she's a mother. I like how she is great to her parents. I think that she, in a whole, and she's smart and she's a good wife. I like everything about her. I like the way she dresses. I like her persona.
She's frugal, but she spends $500,000 on remodeling her basement.
Yes, I know, but at least she knows the value of $1.
Well, she's also plenty woke, apparently.
Yeah.
And I was beyond shocked when I saw her interrupt this whole discussion about Sutton's apologizing to Dorit and what happened to Dorit to make it about her.
Yes.
And I really, this is Crystal about her.
Hypocrisy. That's annoying.
It's really inappropriate to tell someone they feel wrong. To me, that is ultimate gaslighting, and that makes me distrusting in a friendship.
What, Crystal?
She's having a hard time.
With what?
You know, we had our stuff before.
I was just giving your coat back, you know.
But I mean, like, if someone, like, drops on the ground and covers their body, you don't, like, stay in the room, and then you said something like, what are you doing over there? I just felt, sort of like my space was violated a little bit.
I expressed how I was feeling, and you guys went on a very strong campaign, every single one of you, to police my feelings and tell me I was wrong about her intention.
The word violated gave the implication that it was sexual. Like, it felt like that.
Violation is a little strong. It's not.
Violation is.
Violation is a big word.
I was not given any understanding. I was constantly told I was wrong, but how come they're not wrong? You said change the word to rude from violated. That's not how I felt.
Okay, did I think that you felt violated was a little extreme when she brought a jacket to your room? Yes, I did, and I will say that. Did I think it was rude that she said, I'm sorry that my designer couldn't get in from France and Dorit was literally had her life threatened? Yes. You can't compare apples to oranges. Like, you can't.
You guys asked me to give her the benefit of the doubt. But you guys can all go against her now and say that because it affects you guys.
I'm not going against.
I'm just very triggered by the whole thing.
Crystal is just so dramatic about everything. I don't know if she is a millennial or whatever, generation XYZ, whatever, but it seems like she always has something to complain about. Calm down.
Very triggered by the whole thing.
Calm your tits. Calm your tits. Triggered. Okay,
Triggered.
this is why I have a problem with these millennials, okay? They're a bunch of, and we're gonna play they're a bunch of babies,
Triggered
okay?
is someone who's offended or gets their feelings hurt by something that sets off a memory or flashback, transporting the person back to the event of the original trauma. And I just want to point out that the original trauma was she was getting dressed in a bedroom that she was sharing with Sutton, and Sutton walked in to bring her coat and caught her in, I guess, between getting dressed. She was naked, I assume, and that's why she felt violated. But it was with another woman who's a friend of hers, and they're sharing a room.
Yeah.
That's gonna happen. So then she said that
How is that violation?
she wasn't in a safe space, which would be free of conflict or criticism or potentially threatening actions, ideas, or conversations. Here's comedian Joe Coy.
Millennials, is that what they're called? You see here, millennial, Gen X, millennial, pussies.
That's it. That's it in a nutshell. These millennials are a bunch of pussies.
Whoa.
They are, okay? They are. Okay, I'm sorry, you guys, I'm offending you, but it's true.
And
you guys have these buzzwords, homophobic, racist, triggered, it goes on and on and on about, like, anything you don't disagree, they try to have these buzzwords, and it's annoying.
Well, here's more, because
White passerby. It goes. I mean,
it went on.
These kids.
She's fighting with the woman who had a gun to her head.
Yeah. Right. I'm on Dorit's side.
Good. Don't. I'm leaving.
Oh, really? You're in the hideaway. You're not in Compton.
Okay. And you got a camera crew there.
You got a camera crew there. What do you think is gonna happen?
I don't want you to feel someone's feelings unless you can understand it. That's the truth.
I get that.
Yes.
She wants her feelings validated, I get that. But not now. Not in this scenario.
No. She's thinking about herself.
Yeah. And it was a year ago.
Is that a good place for me?
And it was a year ago.
Yeah.
And this woman had a gun at her head.
I don't like it. Oh my God. Then she shouldn't be on the show. If she's that much of a pussy, she shouldn't be on the show.
Wait, hold on, there's more.
She could validated it right there.
But if you care about her feelings, just let her have this.
Not validated.
They're not
I had
validated.
no idea. Not validated. I had no idea that you were in this space. Understand I'm not her. I don't
She just are.
I'm not her.
You are just being hurt. It was like she wants to have this conflict. She wants to. I think Dorit said it very, very eloquently. I am here listening to you. I'm validating what you're saying. I didn't know you were holding it in. And the buzzwords of triggered. I've never used that word in my life.
I just thought it was obnoxious that she was making it about her.
When Dorit just had a gun pointed at her head.
So fresh. It had just happened.
Yeah.
And this incident a year ago, where another female who she's sharing a room with saw her naked apparently. I'm sorry, you can't compare the two.
Right.
To a break-in where this woman could have been, and her kids could have been murdered.
Yes.
Like it's just it's unfathomable to me that was her. She chose that moment to make it about her. We didn't get to the. I want to show this clip. Your favorite clip. This is the best part of the show by far. From this week's Beverly Hills is right.
Yeah, it's really a good.
Yeah, but we're not working.
Oh my God! You guys! Oh my God! She took my steak!
Bambi's gonna steal your food, guys.
She did! We already know.
Clearly, my dog training in the past did not work out.
Oh my God!
They do love steak, can't help it.
They just love steak. They can't help it. They just
Listen.
love steak. I can do dog training well.
Put your dogs away while people are eating.
Exactly.
They are disruptive. You want to enjoy your food without having a dog steal it. And was it cute? Because the dog went like he had
Yeah.
some kind of like way of getting he had a little cute little maneuver. And I love dogs. Apparently, I do love
Yeah,
dogs.
there's one
Yes, there's one
there.
right there.
But don't just put them in another room while you're eating.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just I don't
If
want
you don't have
dogs
them
sniffing at my
trained,
plate.
I know, me either.
And you know that they're not trained.
Yeah,
And
put 'em
then
away.
this was a great ending. This was the last scene, one of the last scenes where they got a cutaway of the dog.
I want to validate everyone's feelings.
Same.
The dog's very clever.
Oh
I
yeah.
want to validate everyone's feelings.
He has this way of turning his head that way to get the food. The dog.
I came in the kitchen one time and Benji had climbed up on the banquette and then up on the counter and was just gnawing away at a chicken. I was thinking it was safe from the dog on the counter. You got to know what your dogs are capable of.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. It's cute. So,
they do the previews, and apparently Crystal's going to reveal more about what Sutton said when she came in the room and caught her without her clothes on, and it was dark and damaging.
violated.
Yeah, she was violated.
Yeah.
And guess what? Next week, Dubai starts.
Yes.
We're going to do Dubai.
Yeah. I know Carolyn Stansbury, met her twice and hung out with her in
Who's that?
Miami.
Is that one of the Dubai ladies?
She was on the Ladies of London.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I hung
Okay.
out with her in our Basel a couple of years ago, maybe like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's really, really cool, really, really pretty.
Okay,
she's
good.
a cool
Well,
girl. So
I'm looking forward to
I
that.
know her personally, so I'm excited to.
Okay, don't forget, get yourself some El Cristiano tequila. Subscribe on our Patreon page and check that out. We really would love for you to join us there. I think you're going to have a great time.
Wait, but do you like the new girl? Real quick?
She's entertaining. I find her entertaining.
You do?
I do, yeah. I mean, and again, I think for this show, she makes it more fun to watch.
Yeah.
You know, she's...
Well, 'cause she puts on in her 2 cents, and you're like, okay, well, you can tell she's not that smart. I don't think she's.
But I like that she's not afraid to speak her mind. Like on this season of Orange County, like these ladies were scared to say anything.
Oh, and by the way, I got some gossip. My old executive producer, Thomas Kelly, will not be on Orange County.
Not returning?
He called all of us, and he said that Heather Dubrow is diabolical. And I said, go on my show, but he's afraid it might, he might get...
Hey, Thomas,
Yeah.
if you're watching, we'd really love to have you on here.
Yeah, and we want you to tell all about Heather
Tell
Dubrow
all.
and how much of a nightmare she was working with.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would really would love for Thomas Kelly to come up on my show and explain how much of a nightmare and how everybody was scared of Heather. And Bravo did put all their eggs in one basket, and he scared them into not doing it again. So
And the ratings took a nosedive, and he took the fall.
and
apparently.
Heather Dubrow's back.
Yeah.
So
All right. Well, on that note, go have yourselves a great day or a great night, and thank you for watching.
and God bless all
God bless you.
the families in
Hug your loved ones.
hug your loved ones.
We'll talk to you. We'll see you soon.
See you soon.